Hi everyone and welcome to Two Player Quest. Today we're going to be reviewing Keep the Heroes Out. Now as you can see, this is not the English version of the game, it's the German version. When we went to Spiel, this was the only version they had left, so as the game is not language dependent, we decided to just get the German game. You can print all the instructions and stuff in English, you can find them online, so we thought, why not, we like the game, let's take it home. In this game, you play a group of monsters who are just happily living in their dungeon, but these downed adventurers keep coming in to try and steal their treasure. So it is your job to keep these heroes out of your dungeon and keep your treasure safe. Let's get into it. Keep the Heroes Out is a game for 1 to 4 players. It plays in about 40 minutes. It is a 2.47 on Board Game Geek for complexity, meaning it's still quite an easy game. And I would say it is a medium luck kind of game. It depends on the cards that you're drawing from your deck and the cards that are drawn from the invader/hero deck on how well the game goes. This is what the board can look like at the start of scenario number 1. Today we are playing with the lizard folk on the left hand side and the slimes on the right hand side. Now, this is the map. On the left you can see the different tokens. We have the intruder tokens there. On the right we have the loot availability deck. Then we have the invader deck and the 2 decks for the players on the left and on the right. Now, on your card you can see your special ability and how many tokens you are supposed to have. So the lizard folk have 5 and the slimes have 8. I've set up the board and you can see the slimes and the lizard folk on the board already. Now, to play a turn, a player always has 5 cards in their hands. And on these cards you have different icons that show you what you are able to do. So this is the lizard folk's hand. So I will now do his turn. Now that the first player has played the cards they wish to play, these cards that he has played go to the discard pile, and he draws up to 5 cards again. So you always have 5 cards in your hand. Next comes the Hero's Invasion. You draw 2 cards from the hero deck. When you look at the first card, you will see what spawns where. In this case, you spawn a scoundrel in the 2 eye locations. Scoundrels have the special ability of being able to take away traps. As there are no traps in these locations, that ability is not used. Now it is time for the scoundrels to attack. Every intruder always does 1 damage to a monster in the room if there is a monster in the room. So, for example, the lizard folk and scoundrel at the top, this scoundrel would kill the lizard folk. But the lizard folk and some of the other characters as well have a defense card. That's this sign here. So they play their defense card, meaning they can defend and they can do a movement. So that lizard folk has decided to defend and move away, as it says on the card. So no one dies there. Then comes this combat. Unfortunately, we don't have another one of those. So the scoundrel does 1 damage, 1 token goes back to the supply, and the scoundrel is turned round. And you do the same for the next monster, the next intruder, which is archers on bones. Here, the same happens. The archers have a special ability of attacking towards the crystal. Now, we've had 1 archer there. To attack towards the crystal would be this one. So unfortunately, that one dies as well. That one cannot hack towards the crystal, as there's nothing there. So it does not have an extra attack. Now they attack the slimes in that area. And the first slime in this one decides to do a defense with one of their cards, meaning they can defend and reproduce, because they're basically cutting the slime in half. And on the other side, 1 slime dies, as they don't have another one of these cards. And now it is the next player's turn. It would now be the slime player's turn. Every single room in the map has its own ability, as it shows on the map tile themselves. Now, the game ends as soon as the players have gone through the intruder deck twice, which can be seen by once you've gone through the intruder deck, you turn it around, and there you see the win condition. Or they lose if the number 4 treasure tile is ever turned around. So there's no set numbers of rounds, it's all up to how the players play the game. Keep the Heroes Out is a very easy game to learn. The icons are very clear, it's just very simple, very basic. Give it 5 minutes and you can get going. I would recommend this game to people who are looking for a shorter but nice and simple game. It's a lot of fun, even when you are an experienced board gamer, but it is easy to explain to other people and it can get going quite quickly. Thus, it's also quite good for either inexperienced board gamers or possibly for children. Now, the box says 12+, but we've played this game many a times with my nephews who are 6 and 8, and they really like playing this game. Because there is no text involved in this game, or at least not necessarily, not every player has to be able to read. So the icons are very logical, they make sense, and as long as all the players understand what an icon does, that's all you need. You don't need to be able to read. So I would definitely recommend this if you're trying to get children or other people interested in longer board games. We think that Keep the Heroes Out is a very good all-round kind of game. It's good for in between other games, it's good to play with more inexperienced players. We like the diversity and variety in this game. So there's 20 different scenarios that you can play. There's 9 different monsters in the original base box. So that's a lot of variety and a lot of different gameplay, because every monster has its own ability, has its own sort of specialization. So it is a lot of variety, and that's something we like. Plus, it has really cute minis, so it's also aesthetically pleasing. This game is very good with more people. It's still pretty much the same game. It scales very well with more people, but I would say that the game is better with more people. This because the actions you can do with your characters feels like, to me, it has more effect with more players. So you have special character abilities, and these abilities can be used more with more players because there's more heroes on the board, or at least there should be. So I would say it shines more playing it with 4 rather than 2, but it's still a very good 2-player game. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of Keep the Heroes Out. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, put them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you next time on 2-Player Quest.